Hello, I'm excited you decided to take a few minutes to watch this video. In this video, I'm going to show you how our GetMPX Patient Acquisition system works to drive phenomenal results to medical practices seeking to increase patients or to generate more patients, specifically for cash pay treatment. So on my screen, there's a couple case studies that were created during the last 2 months. So here you can see 3 of our clients and the amount of revenue that they were able to generate in just 2 months. And you can also see their total ad spend. So for instance, Maya recently invested $2,500 into her lead generation, and that turned into $40,000 in revenue for her. We were able to convert 8 patients within the last 2 months. This was for shockwave therapy, which equaled $40,000. And you can see we still have 91 other opportunities, other leads in the pipeline that are waiting to be converted. Here's another similar case scenario. Natural Aesthetics invested $3,270 within the last 2 months, and that equated to $49,000 in revenue. They were able to convert 14 patients, and they still have 166 opportunities pending. These are prospective patients that are waiting to be booked and converted into paying patients. And then here's just another case study. Dr. Gonzalez invested $7,300 during the last 2 months, and that equaled $27,350 in a return. So I'm going to show you exactly how we accomplish these goals for our clients. But before I do, briefly explain or announce or introduce myself. My name is Adrian Gonzalez. I'm the co-founder of a company called GetMPX. GetMPX is a fully automated patient acquisition system specifically for medical practices focusing on cash pay solutions. GetMPX does not work within any other niche, within any other niche in the medical space or outside of the medical space. Our sole focus is on driving or increasing patient acquisition for private practices looking to increase cash pay treatment sales. We've been in the space for 10 years, and we've built some of the largest brands in the space. You can see them here on the right side of my screen. So we have worked with hundreds and hundreds of practices across the United States. And hands down, we've noticed that the majority of them experience the same obstacles that prevent them from growing at the rate that is truly possible. And I'm going to show you what these are. And some of them might look familiar. So the first obstacle is, how do I generate leads? How do I generate leads that are in my area? How do I generate leads that can typically afford the treatments that I'm offering? How do I generate leads that are actually interested in the treatments, right? That's one obstacle. Engaging leads, it's crucial to follow up with leads as soon as they submit their inquiry. The sooner, the better. If you can reply or call or text a lead within 60 seconds of them submitting an inquiry on your website or your web page or your Google Ads, your conversion is going to increase by 391%. But a lot of practices don't have staff members or don't have the time to follow up with these potential patients as soon as possible, which leads to a lot of missed opportunities. When somebody does submit their contact information specifically for a certain treatment, 9 times out of 10, they're wanting you to send educational content their way. This can be emails, this can be text messages, this can be ebooks. 90% of practices not only are not able to follow up with these leads within the first hour, some of them take days, but I'd say that 90% of these practices don't send any kind of follow-up or educational information toward these leads. And that's really unfortunate, right? Because you want to make sure that you're giving these contacts more information on how the treatment works, what the benefits are, who might be a right candidate, what age range, is this treatment for, especially if we're talking about things like TRT, HRT, or, shockwave therapy for ED. By sending them this information consistently, a couple emails a week actually, it's going to do 2 things. It's going to keep you on top of their mind, but it's also going to educate them. So when they do go ahead and schedule a consultation, they're a lot more familiar with how the treatment works, right? Which is going to make this consultation a lot smoother for both you and for them. And then majority of practices don't have any sales support that is, readily available to book consultations or book appointments or book labs within these incoming leads. So luckily, our system, one that we've developed, it addresses all of these specific obstacles, and even better, it does it without requiring any of your time, any of your staff members' time. So I'm going to show you how it works, but it's basically a 3-stage process. Stage 1 is lead generation. Stage 2 is going to be AI education and engagement. And then step 3 is going to be qualifying and booking. So let's talk about stage 1. We utilize Google Ads, targeted Google Ads, which means that there's a certain radius around your practice's location where we ensure that when somebody is searching for the type of treatment that you're looking to promote, whether it be hormone optimization, whether it be sexual wellness for men, for women, aesthetic solutions, body sculpting, hair restoration, you name it. What we do is we launch these Google Ads that are going to appear at the top of Google whenever people submit searches like, who's the best hair expert around me? Or what's the #1 ED specialist near me? Or how can I learn more about testosterone? Based on the campaigns that we're running, what will happen is that your ads will appear at the top of their Google search results. It'll direct them to a landing page that is hyper-focused on the specific treatment that they're looking for. It's going to address what the treatment is, what the benefits are, what symptoms it typically treats, results, and more. And ultimately, we'll have a lead capture form that captures their name, their email address, their cell phone number, and also ask them a few pre-qualifying questions. Now, once the lead submits their information, we go to stage 2. So stage 2 is all about engagement. Stage 2 is all about following up with the lead rapidly. So there is an interesting stat which states if you're able to follow up with the lead within 60 seconds of their first inquiry, the chances of you converting them into a patient are going to increase by 391%. And that's because people want things now. People are not patient. And if they submit information, on your website or on one of your web pages or on one of your ads, and you don't get back to them within the hour, they're going to probably call a few of your competitors. So what we've developed is an AI bot that is directly integrated into ChatGPT. We call her Emily AI. And Emily AI is a fully automated, fully integrated appointment bot that communicates with leads via text message, right? So what happens is once the lead is generated and entered into the system, stage 2 is going to kick in and Emily is going to text them. Emily's going to text them within the first 60 seconds of their submission. Emily is going to answer any basic questions that they have. She's going to educate them on how the treatment works, how long it takes, on what the results are. She will even educate them on who is a potentially proper candidate. And she's going to do this 24 hours a day. She does not stop. That means that she can also address lead inquiries or engage lead inquiries from folks that come in during after hours, which, let's be honest, a lot of people work a 9-to-5 job, and when they're online looking for treatments, it's typically when they're out of work. And the majority of practices don't have, close at 5 or 6 p.m., which is around the same time that these people get out of their jobs and are available to speak. The majority of practices don't have somebody to communicate. And this just means that you're just losing out on a ton of new patients just because there's nobody to communicate with these folks. Well, now the solution is Emily AI, because at all hours of the day, she's going to have text conversations with them, educating them on the treatment, and ultimately guiding them to book an appointment, a consultation, a discovery call. That is Emily's main role. Step 3 or stage 3. I touched upon this earlier. When people want to learn more about certain treatments and they submit, the information, especially if it's regarding things like shockwave therapy, which can be a little bit confusing for patients, even things like TRT or PRP hair restoration. There's not a lot of people that have general knowledge of how these treatments work and what the benefits are and, if it's right for them. So once the lead submits their information, not only is Emily going to engage and educate them through text messages, our system is going to automatically drip out a series of emails about that specific treatment, right? So here are a couple examples of some of the emails that go out to these leads. Obviously, it's going to be dependent on the treatment that they're interested in. So for example, if they're interested in TRT, they'll receive dozens of emails on TRT and the benefits and how it works. And the goal of this, well, there's two goals of this, right? Number one is to keep your practice on top of their minds, because weekly they're going to receive emails and they're going to see your name in their inbox. And number two, we want to make sure that we do everything that we can in order to make sure that these contacts are extremely educated to the point where when they come to the consultation, they have all of the basic information, right? They're knowledgeable. They're probably aware of even what the price range is. And the goal of this is just to ensure a smoother consultation between you and your new potential patient. And then touched on this briefly earlier, but Emily's main goal is to schedule appointments. Confident that Emily will schedule 80% more consultations than you're currently generating right now. And it has to do with a few, or there's a few reasons why. Number one, Emily's always available and she's going to engage with contacts within 60 seconds, right? Which is nearly impossible for a human to do. Number two, Emily is extremely knowledgeable and she doesn't require any of your training either. But I understand how difficult and time consuming it can be to train several of your staff members on how to have, essentially sales conversations with patients for several different treatments, right? A lot of the times we've noticed when we've secret shopped practices is we'll, call and ask about a certain treatment, and the person on the phone, which is typically a receptionist, just has no idea about how the treatment works, what the benefits are, basically basically the majority of the information the person answering those phone calls knows is the price, right? But it's difficult to discuss pricing when you're not explaining the value or the intricacies of the treatment that the patient is or the prospect is interested in learning more about. So Emily will go ahead and take care of that for you because she's trained, because she's always available. She's going to be able to book 80% of the leads that are generated on behalf of your practice. So in a nutshell, this is the journey of how our system works. Leads are generated and submitted through our Google Ads. They connect with Emily, who engages them through text messages. The lead is consistently educated through automated email campaigns. Emily will qualify and book them. So everything up to this point has been done for you. It requires none of your time to create and manage these ads. It requires none of your time to speak and follow up with leads and chase leads, which I know can be pretty annoying. And it requires none of your or your staff's members' time to educate these leads on the treatment. Up to this point, everything's taken care of for you. So all you need to do is focus on the medical consultation. I hope that you found this helpful. There's a lot more that's included in our program, or our system, such as our practice manager. This is just an extremely helpful hub that does everything from track your leads, contact information, treatment interest. It gives you an instant snapshot into what your patient pipeline is looking like, how many leads have been generated within the last 30, 60, 90 days, how much revenue you've been able to convert. And it does so many more things, but this is another benefit that comes with our system, which allows you to just track everything that's happening on the business end of your practice. And like I've mentioned before, our clients are getting amazing results, 15xing their return on investment. I mean, $2,500 investment turned into $40,000 is pretty amazing. We'd love to speak with you more and show you more about how our system works and how it can benefit you. I encourage you, if you have 15-20 minutes available this week or the next, visit getmpx.com/demo, schedule a one-on-one demo with one of our representatives so they can provide you with more detailed information on how this works and how it can help your practice. Thank you so much for your time.